Everybody up! Oh, Agud Moed Raboisai. Welcome. I don't know about you. For me, Sukkot is like my favorite Yontif. I love Sukkot. Sitting in the Sukkah with all my Chaverim. First, I want to say tremendous Shkoyach to Elia Turjuman from the Hebrew Shir who built the Sukkah. Tremendous Shkoyach to Moshe Einhorn. Maybe get up. Moshe, get up. When was it? Erev Yom Kippur, he sponsored breakfast for the whole Olam, and today he sponsored today's breakfast. Yishkoyach Reb Moshe Einar, and stand up, please, stand up. Oh, here he is. One minute. Shkoyach. I want to say thank you very much to Tomer Levy for organizing everything, working very hard. Erev Yontif today. Many people behind the scenes. Akiva and all the Bachrim, Shlomo Forcham and Forcham. Eitan Ogerek. Shlomo gave me a gift for my sukkah, another gift that my wife will love. Just pictures of myself. She went around, I'm not kidding, Motzei Yontif, she went around pulling off those pictures of people that put up posters. I said, I'll put it in my sukkah. So again, 3 minutes before Shkia, I ran, I put it up real quickly. Motzei Yontif, before I was able to say a bracha achroina and Avdallah, she went and she pulled off all the posters. So we're going to have to put this up real quickly before I'll keep you updated. Al Tadag. Rabbi Isai, we have a special surprise. So we have another breakfast, Bezer Hashem, on Tuesday morning. There's also a Fleishik meal tonight, sponsored by Benny Rodnick. There's a Fleishik, the Hebrew Shir. The Hebrew Shir on Tuesday night as well. Fleishiks, sponsored by Benny Rodnick. I'm kidding. We're still looking for sponsors for everything, for breakfast, for whatever. There's always room for sponsors. I want to say tremendous yishkach before I forget. On our trip to Europe, we had two amazing singers and guitarists. Both of them are guitarists. They came with us the entire trip. And at one point, we were very, very delayed. We were driving really, really slow. We had the worst driver in the world. He's driving slow down the highway at 2-something in the morning. But we didn't care. We were just singing the entire time. Pashat singing Hartziki Nigunim. Never repeated a single nigun twice the entire trip. I'm not magzim. Not once. They were with us on the entire bus. Every caver, you'll see by the Melech Zensk, everywhere. Here they are. Eli and Menachem, Yishkoyach for coming. Nachman, Yishkoyach. Thank you for coming. They don't really speak English, but they're always available. Yeah, they do. Eli speaks. We had a special treat. I don't know if you realized. My wife actually, she was behind this. She saw an ad for cold brew. Cold brew is coffee that's brewed overnight. It's a whole matzav. She said we got to get it for the shir. So Grimier Coffee, I think it's called Gremier. He set up a whole coffee bar that's special for this sukkahs. The holy bagels. They don't sell. If you try to get bagels from them now for this, they wouldn't do it. They did it for us. Did you actually pay them? No? Yeah. Okay, fine. Today is also before I forget, if you look at the back of all the chairs in the Mismedrash, Simcha Berel, Dovid ben Avraham Moshe, I believe his yard set is today. Menachem and Breslov's yard set is today. Maybe. One more geschmacker. Hold on. Okay, so real quickly, I just want to show you because this is sukkah related. Look at this, guys. Rabbi Isai, check this out on the screen. Just this is part of the email system. Also, this is today's shir. It's very interesting. You learned it in a different masech. This is Pasha today's shir. Now that's a poster. Nachman. Okay, so I've attached a video clip myself, daffing the Sukkah Erev Yontif. Last year we had the honor of spending Sukkahs in MDY and thoroughly enjoyed. This kid is from Gibraltar, Rabbi said. Gibraltar. Last year we had the honor of spending Sukkahs in MDY, Sukkah personal visit and dedication on the 8th of October. He says 8th of October. It was very hard to learn then, Taka. It was very depressing. We also had the zechus to fly to Manchester for the Bar Mitzvah. And I was the only boy who was wearing the MDY socks. Another thing, thank you for inspiring me to do the... Okay. I've now completed for the first time ahead of Simchas Torah. He's saying he's only, I don't know how old he is, 12 years old. Aaron Hassett, 12 years old, MDY Gibraltar from Nidarim. He's been with us from Nidarim. And he also completed Shnai Mikra Vechatargim. Rabbi said it's a reminder for the Olam. Shnai Mikra Vechatargim. It's starting soon. P.S. I hope you come visit us in Gibraltar in your next visit to Europe. Here he is with the poster. Nachman, he's on Zoom. Wow. Valdik. Okay. It's a good thing. Rabbi says here's another chashuva poster. I don't know you get this, but look at this. Acrylic posters. Valdik. Yeah, wow, Bava Basra. Rav Eli Yakar, Shamati ma ben sheli. Oh. So I just want to say over on Friday, I asked, there's a Chabadsker that comes all the way from Be'er Sheva every single Friday with his son. So I asked where he is. So he said that he is a mifaked of a medical team in Golani, and he's in the war. That's why he couldn't come, but his son watches the shir even though he's not there. His son is a young kid under bar mitzvah. And he can't wait to come back on Fridays to the Beis Medrash, Shmulik, Sokolik, Hachabatskir Mebe'er Sheva, he calls himself, or I call him that. Another one more interesting one we have to get going. Thank you for so much for my free Gemara sending all the way down to Mexico. Was quite a stretch. I enjoy so much the Daf Yomi with Rav Eli, and it has become a delightful discipline to do the Daf every day right after Daven in the mornings. Rav Eli really sets the tone for the rest of the day with his unique way to teach. Once again, very, very much thankful for all you do for Torah, spreading the opportunity to learn with you. All right, and Mordechai Sapazik wants to know if there's still sponsorships available for breakfast. Yes, yes, and yes. Oh, so Rabbi Isai, I want to tell you, this we could learn from this individual, tremendous. As I said, there's a breakfast today, and there's one more on Tuesday. Well, that's until Benti Novak came over to me and said, I want to sponsor breakfast on Wednesday. I am making it myself. I'm making shakshuka. I'm making pasta. There's going to be bagels and tuna and all. He's doing it himself like he did last year and the year before. So Yishkoyach to Benti Novak for stepping in. He's somewhere. If he's not in the sukkah, I saw him before in the Beis Medrash with the window open, enjoying the music, but learning at the same time. It's very interesting. We could all learn. I'm serious. He takes things into his own hands and he goes. He does things. He did the same thing. He bought a property in Gimel and he's building his house by himself. That's how he is. That's how he rolls. Huh? He opened Atzala. He's Oimer Atzala Bet Shemesh. Atzala New York. Atzala Lakewood also. I'm kidding. Atzala Bet Shemesh. Dear Rav Eli, I was decorating our sukkah and we did a chussid, Sfardi, Litvak to show the amazing camaraderie of MDY. I'll be donating part of my Meiser money from my bar mitzvah gifts to MDY. I cannot think of a more worthwhile cause. I get Moed. This is Eli Ginot. The Koil of the day is sponsored by Tzvi Korlin for the day. For Nisanel ben Meir, Nisanel ben Meir, or maybe Meir ben Nisanel, I don't know. It's Hershkovitz, my wife's first cousin, who was killed fighting in Gaza Erev Yom Kippur. Should be a zechus for his neshama to have an aliyah. What's his name? Because the Erev Yom Kippur was those guys, those Hershkovitz, the famous Hershkovitz. The Masechta, we already had somebody sponsor. The Masechta for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages, Parnassa B'revach and Refuah, Yosef. The one sponsoring this is in our sukkah right now. A little bit of an anonymous person, so Yishkoyach. Every day I think of you when I say this. Thank you. The Parnassa B'revach, health and strength for Rav Eli. I think of you also, whoever you are. Thank you for sponsoring this. Parnassa B'revach, the Lak family, Lakewood NJ, because Torah is the best Segula. Parnassa Shavua, Yosef and Chaya, Sara for Parnassa B'revach. Parnas of the art of the month for zechus for Rav Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Breakfast sponsorship. Lili Nishmas of Dovid ben Shimon Zechariah Levacha Yortzeit is today, the 18th of Tishrei. And breakfast sponsorship by Moshe Einhorn. Yesher Koyach Gadol Me'oid. My boy side, here goes the shir. It's going to be 10 minutes and that's it. Okay. Rabbi said one more Geschmacke Hartz Genigin. Everybody together, but you can't leave me out of it. Everybody, even the guys that want to eat, just for a few seconds, make a geschmack and press the whole neighborhood. Don't make a chilul MDY. Here we go. Tashir. Hello. Why are there so many people not singing? Guys, help. Libby, no talking. Let's go. Sing. I'm going to call you out. Rabbi. He wants to be called that. That's why he's talking. Victor. No benching now, no benching. Oh, if you don't know the song, pretend you know it. Let's go. Eitan G. One time. Besides Yeshua and Kalev, who else that left Mitzrayim came in to Eretz Yisrael? Wow, I thought everybody would know this one. Okay, we'll get there in a second. But I was looking for a different one, but you're onto it. You're onto it. Who came into Eretz Yisrael? Person came into Eretz Yisrael and didn't get a single inch of Yerusha and Nachla in Eretz Yisrael. Didn't get a single inch in Eretz Yisrael. Why? Levim got. Then why not? Who said he didn't get? Why not? He didn't get from the Gemara says he didn't get, but when he came to Eretz Yisrael, maybe he buried him afterwards. I hear what you're saying. I hear. There's a bunch of people that came to Eretz Yisrael. They didn't get any Yerusha, any Nachla at all. It's possible. So we're gonna see the Mislainim. You're right, but who said they came in? They didn't. I said come into Eretz Yisrael. Says the Eli Mishnah. We're holding that Zion Amud Beis by the Mishnah. But over here, guys, if you don't really have to talk, mamash b'doicha godel. No, they like it over here. Boys say shkoyach to the singers again. Shkoyach. They'll be back. They will be back. Be'ezer Hashem tonight, Tuesday morning, and Tuesday night. We'll let him out. We're making an exception to the rule. Wow. It's Moed. Todah she'igata. It's a one-time thing. Now I'm thrown off for the rest of the shir. No, Sometimes you got to work on your midas, on your rules. All rules are there to be broken. Anyway, B'nai Slavchad natlu shloisha chalakim benachla. So we know B'nai Slavchad died in the Midbar. His daughter said, Lama Nigara, why should we be different? How come we don't get Yerusha? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, and that's where the whole parsha of Yerusha comes in. They were right. Torah says they were right. And in fact, not only did they get one portion, they got 3 portions. Why did they get 3 portions? Chelek avim shahaya im yotzim Mitzrayim. Chiddush number 1 in the Mishnah, and that's a little bit of our sugya now. Who got Nachla? Who got Yerusha when they came into Eretz Yisrael? What was it? The people that came into Eretz Yisrael, and based on the people coming into Eretz Yisrael, based on who you are coming in, you got a piece of Eretz Yisrael, or it's based on who left Mitzrayim, or maybe it's a combination of the two. It's actually a three-way machlekes. One man d'Omer says it's based on how you come into Eretz Yisrael. One man d'Omer says it's based on who left Mitzrayim. And one man d'Omer says it's both. We're going to see what that means. Our Mishnah holds it's Yotzim Mitzrayim. Why? Because Slavchad came out of Mitzrayim. He didn't go into Eretz Yisrael. They were talking about Slavchad in the Midbar, so it has to do with Yotzim Mitzrayim. If we talk about Yotzim Mitzrayim, so we have to pause for a second. It was interesting because yesterday when I was giving the daf, I prepared on Shabbos and I said, oh, it's Yaakov Avinu's Ushpizin, and we mentioned Yaakov Avinu. We even mentioned Yitzchok, but I couldn't write down. So, of course, I forgot about it. Usually I make I put a sticker or whatever. Today, I don't want to forget. We're talking about Yetzias Mitzrayim. We're sitting in a sukkah because we have to remember, we have to be mechavan. It's better to be mechavan. That we're sitting here for Ananei Zeichel, Ananei Akava, Yetzias Mitzrayim. It's all part of it. Yetzias Mitzrayim. They also took the portion of Chefer. Who's Chefer? The grandfathers. That we learned the other day here. If there are, let's say, 3 sons, so each son gets 33%. If one of the sons is no longer with us, let's call him Slavchad. So the daughter inherits the grandfather's Yerusha as well. So that's the second chilek. Just I'll mention b'derech agav that a lot of Menashe, since they say the Svarim say Menashe was one of the only Shvatim in Eretz Yisrael for a very long period when they loved Eretz Yisrael more than other Shvatim, it seems like. They used to call their kids named after cities in Eretz Yisrael, like Shechem, Chefer, all these things. Okay. Named after kids of Tzlavchad. V'shahaya b'char noitel shnei chalakim. Slavchad was a b'char. So the daughters not only received the regular portion in Eretz Yisrael, they received the b'char portion. Now we have a major problem here, but that's the chiddush. This also, yeah, you can turn it on. Turn on the fans by you also. Why not? All fans should be on. Be'ez Hashem. Yeah, why not? Pull that thing. Okay. What plastic is that for what? Oh, maybe move the plastic. I don't know that the plastic has to be there. I'm just asking a shayla. I don't know. I told you this, Maisa. I was getting off the plane, and there's like 30 people in front of me, and they were standing. 1 minute goes by, 2 minutes, we're off the plane already. Nobody's moving. I look, nobody's moving. And it was like Germany. It was like a German flight or something. So I say, excuse me. I go all the way to the front, and I see the door is closed, and it says, do not open the door. I pushed the door open, and everybody got off, and they started clapping. Otherwise, everybody was stood like that. So they all clapped. They were very grateful. Besides, one German guy says, it says, don't open the door. Whatever, like he is. But sometimes we are a bunch of sheep. There's a piece of plastic making a noise. Piece of plastic, maybe the piece of plastic doesn't have to stay there. But you got to think. Take the plastic down. No, get up, take it down. The whole sukkah is going to fall down if you take the plastic down? It's just a garbage bag. What is it doing there? It's only if it rains. Don't worry about it. Move it away. Pull it. Yeah, pull it. Let's make some air over here. The shir could have been over already. Fine. Seder. Now, here's the problem. As you heard, that's why I showed a little bit of the video. I don't know if you heard the kid that was in the sukkah learning. He was doing the shir about Roy Ein B'char Noitel B'Roy Ki B'Muchzak. What does that mean? That if a father is owed a lot of money and he dies and somebody comes, feels really bad at the funeral, and he comes and he pays off his loan. He says, "Oh, I owed your father $1 million. Here's the check." The B'char doesn't get 2 portions of that. Why? Because it's Roy. It's only, especially today when the minhag is not to pay back loans, that's mamish Roy. It's like the chances that you're going to get paid back are garnished. So not even Roy. It's Yachal Liyos Roy. It has the kitzer. So the question is, Slavchad didn't inherit Eretz Yisrael. He's gonna inherit Eretz Yisrael when he walks into Eretz Yisrael, but he's already dead. How would his daughters get a piece of the b'chayra that he was supposed to get later on? So Mela, we have to say, as the Rosh Brown points out from the Gemara, that Eretz Yisrael, the portion of Eretz Yisrael, is considered muchzak. It's not roi. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you, I'm going to give you a piece of land, it's done. It's a done deal. There's no questions asked. It's already happened. Even though you don't have it, it's already as if it happened. And Mela, a b'char gets 2 portions, even though the father never got it. Says the Eli Gemara, Daf Kufyud Zayin Amud Aleph. Tanan Kemando Omar liyoytz Mitzrayim nischalka haaretz. You see, our Mishnah goes like the Mando Omar that says that the Eretz Yisrael was given to those who came out of Mitzrayim, not those who went into Eretz Yisrael. Why? Because Slafat came out of Mitzrayim, he didn't go into Eretz Yisrael, and his daughters inherited him. The Sanya, and here's the machlokes. Rav Yoshi Oimer liyoytz Mitzrayim nischalka haaretz. Eretz Yisrael was given only to those who came out of Mitzrayim. Shenamar the shmois matos avoisam. The point over here, the key word is avoisam, the fathers. Yinchalu. It has to do with the forefathers who came out of Mitzrayim. The Gemara is going to explain where do we see that exactly. And this sugya is just a back and forth. Actually, not that much. It's just one time. But here, as you see the 2 psukim on the right and on the left. We just spoke about the psukim on the right. Hey, Dave, I don't know if you could do it here. You have the option of, I wanted to, no, you can't. Just matis avoisam, I wanted to make it red and lo'ela red. I forgot to do that. Sorry. First word in the left pasuk and last words on the right pasuk. See how it's done live. So we have 2 psukim that are contradictory. Why? Because one pasuk says it goes based on the forefathers leaving Mitzrayim. That's on the right. And the one on the left says, Lo'ela tichalak haaretz. Only these people are going into Eretz Yisrael, nothing to do with the people that left Mitzrayim. Which one is it? So we have to explain. Either way you learn, you're going to have to explain the other pasuk. Unless you explain both psukim, which mean it's both. That's great. Menachem Ateh is getting a behind-the-scenes view of how it's done. All of you guys. I don't see it happening. Dave can do it much quicker, by the way. Wow. Am I right or am I right? Should see him. No, because he has a lot of practice from the Hebrew shir. I'm constantly asking him to do stuff. I know. You don't have to stick up for Avraham. We all know. I wouldn't make fun of somebody if he wasn't Avraham. Avraham is the top computer guy in Eretz Yisrael. Forget about in the yeah. So why does the pasuk say only these people? And now we have to say it. Everybody together. Lo'ele. Ko'ele. Oh, Revi. Because it says Lo'ele with the Revi, that's why I did Revi. Very nice. Okay. Kiyadua, the famous Maisa, we have our Balkoyer here, Menachem Ateh. Dave, you want to zoom in our Balkoyer, Menachem Ateh? Matis Avoisam. Beautiful. Here it is. Ah, everybody have Remy Cohen. Wow, the red is unbelievable. Zechurya. So the famous, I said this 10 times, but just in case you're new to the shir. So everybody screams Ko'ela in every shul, especially in our shul. And 1 year before I did tshuva and became a magichir, I was still a little bit of a letz. Now I'm not anymore. But in shul, right before the whole Eilim screamed Ko'e, I scream out Ko'ela. And Menachem Ated just burst out laughing, ruined the whole Kriyas HaTorah. Why did I do that? Oh, because you, Taka, you do in other things. By Katainti, he does Revi. By Katainti, he loves, like, not being different, ruining the peak. Yeah. He called me on, his sons caught me on a mistake. They made up a mistake. Fine. I gave it to them. I let them have it. I pretended. I went back. They had such enough correcting me. I correct their father all the time. Comes out of Moed Chiddush. Tfalim is somebody under the age of 20. If you were under the age of 20 years old when you left Mitzrayim, you do not get nachla when you come into Eretz Yisrael. So here's a big chiddush. So I asked before the shir, how's it possible that a person comes into Eretz Yisrael doesn't get any nachla? The answer is, if the person doesn't have a father or any relative, and he was under the age of 20, or over the age of 60, when he left Mitzrayim was over the age of 60, he did not die in the midbar. Why didn't he die in the midbar? Because he was over 60. He didn't die in the midbar because he was under 20. So he got to go into Eretz Yisrael, but the pasuk excludes him from nachla. You have to be over 20 years old. You can't be a teifel. You can't be a tuffel under 20 nick when you left Mitzrayim. Unbelievable chiddush. Yeah, you're not asking to this, I see. Mendy, you okay? You're like staring at me like, how do you get this? I read in the Rashbam, he says, and if he had no relatives, he gets 0. Okay, so Rabbi Yonasan says different. He says he takes these two psukim, and instead of learning the one on the right and giving an answer on the one on the left, he learns from the left and gives the answer on the right. Then what? It says before in the pasuk that these people coming into Eretz Yisrael get nachla. So it's these lo'ela. So then why does the Torah say that it goes by the avos, by those who left Mitzrayim? Listen to this. This is mamish mind-boggling. Every Yerusha, how does the Yerusha work? A guy dies, a live person inherits. Over here it's the opposite. A live person inherits a dead person. Unbelievable. Let's see this. This is how it works. So, if you go slowly over here, according to the first shita, those who came out of Mitzrayim get a nachla. Here you see the pyramid, Yosef Mitzrayim, Bayoretz. Whoever came out of Mitzrayim gets a nachla. Period. End of story. Those who came into Eretz Yisrael don't get a nachla. They'll inherit from the forefathers. But the ones who come out of Mitzrayim, that's how Yeshua divided Eretz Yisrael. Check this out. Rabbi said the coffee man is in the back. You can say Shalom Aleichem, Yishkoach to him. I don't know what his name is. What's your name? Grimir, that's your last name? Yoni? Gray. Gray with a Y? Shkoya. Okay, check this out, Yoni. If you say the Baya Aretz is Givaldik, check this out. Let's say 2 people left Mitzrayim, Ruvain and Shimon. Ruvain later on had 10 sons who came into Eretz Yisrael. Shimon only had 1 son that came into Eretz Yisrael. So when they come into Eretz Yisrael, we're going to divide the land as follows. The one who had 10 sons is going to get 10 portions. Each kid is going to get a portion. The one who had 1 son, that 1 son is going to get 1 portion. How many portions do we have total? Gevaldik. Even this tough math for Panovich, but you guys did great. 10 plus 1, 11. Unbelievable. Here, these guys got 10, this guy got 1. But now it goes back to the dead guys. Reuven and Shimon are dead, and they came out of Mitzrayim. So first we give the portions to those in Eretz Yisrael. Now that we have 11 portions, check out what happens. It goes back to Reuven and Shimon. Now we divide it equally between Reuven and Shimon, and that's why Reuven's sons get 5.5. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Shimon's son gets 5.5. So the one guy gets a tremendous amount. You hear? So we do both things. We give first to everybody that comes into Eretz Yisrael. So because there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of portions. Then we go all the way back to Mitzrayim and we divide it. That's how the Rashbam learns. Rashi learns a little bit easier to understand that we go back to the Reuven and Shimon's father. Because like Kilo, what's the connection between Reuven and Shimon? They're brothers. Okay, so we go back a generation to Reuven. That's how Rashi explains it in the Chumash. We go back to Yaakov Avinu, who had Reuven and Shimon, and that's why it's divided like that. Now, Rabbi Yaakov Neuberger says a beautiful pshat. I thought it's gewaldig. I love this pshat. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do it like this? Well, it's like, give this way. Go to the Yosef Mitzrayim. Go to Eretz Yisrael, give them, and then come back to Mitzrayim, redivide it. What's going on here? He says, beautiful. He's speaking to the guys in America. He says, you're sitting in, I'm just adding words, ad-libbing a little bit. Sitting in the yeshiva in Lakewood, you're all proud of yourself. Geschmack, I learn in Koilel, I'm learning, I'm steiging away, I live in Jackson, I have a Rolls Royce, I have a private jet, the whole thing, everything's gewaldig. But you need to think to yourself, where did you come from? How did you get here? You got here because your grandfather sacrificed that you can't even imagine. When he got off the boat in America, he had to get a job every week. There's no Yiddishkeit. There's no kosher food. Look at us today. We have this company and that company. We get meat and Chol Yisrael and everything. But you always have to remember where you came from. It's hard to remember. We're sitting here, us and Eretz Yisrael. Where did we come from? What did our father sacrifice for us? What did our grandfathers? What did our grandparents, grandmothers? Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I love it. No, it's gewaldig. You come to Eretz Yisrael, don't forget that the Yosef Mitzrayim, there were slaves, and they stood through Har Sinai and they mekabel the Torah. That's why you're here. You're sitting in Eretz Yisrael, but don't forget that you came from Yosef Mitzrayim. Zok the Gemara, oh my Rebbe, I have a mashal for this. There's two brothers in the same city. One had one child, one had two. And they made a deal. You have to add these words in parentheses. They made a deal between themselves. Let's send our children to the Goyren. Just to remind the Olam, we don't need a sound for this. But as I'm saying it, you can just watch the video if you're interested. It's interesting. It's very negate to hear what they're saying. They're listening. They're doing it at 1.5 speed. Like people watch this year. Anyway, Kohanim would go to the Goyren. They go to the Goyren and they would get their truma. Hey, you have to take off some truma, some maestros. Give it to me. 3 sons went. 2 fathers sent them. So what happens? So they take 3 portions, let's say, and they come back to their parents, and their parents, the 2 brothers, redivide the 3 portions 50-50. Each family gets 1.5. So that's what's going on over here. You send out 10 sons and 1 son, they get 11 portions in Eretz Yisrael. Come back home, let's redivide it. Each family gets 5.5. Fine, it's enough. You don't have to see the whole thing. Those are kohanim. Those guys got their little truma. Now they're packing it up. They're going home. Give Valdik here. Does anybody want to watch this again? No? Okay. After Shir Beis Hashem, we're going to replay it in the Beis Medrash for those who want. Okay. V'olchel ha'goyren. Zeh sheyesh li ben echad noit l'chelik echad, v'zeh sheyesh li shnei barim noit l'shnei chalagim. They redivide. Machzir etzel aviyem. They go back to their fathers, and then they divide the 3 into 1.5 each, and that's what's going on with Chalukas Ha'aretz. Reb Shimon Elezo Oimer, a third shita, Kufyud Zayin Amud Beis, sponsored by the cheer guys, the Belsky family, in memory of Simcha Berel, Dovid Olav Shalom Ben Avraham Moshe, whose yahrzeit is today. His neshama should have an aliyah. Kidnovations LLC in honor of my uncle Rebbitzen Pressman and Fishel. Should be zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga. A shidduch for Yehudit bas Chaya. Thank you to Mrs. Stefansky. It should be zechus for a year filled with mazel, broch, hatzlocha, Parnassa B'revach and Refuah. Leilu ve'elu nischalka aretz. It's not just he takes the pasuk. He takes the 2 psukim. From one pasuk is mashma that Chalukas Ha'aretz goes to those leaving Mitzrayim. The other pasuk is mashma la'ela. It's the ones going in. You know what? It's both. How do you do both? How is it possible that a guy gets both? Okay, it said Hoya miyoytz Mitzrayim. If he left Mitzrayim, let's say a guy came out of Mitzrayim and he gets a chelik and he died. So his son gets a Yerusha. And if he came into Eretz Yisrael, okay, that's easy enough. If you left Mitzrayim, you get a portion, you're not around to enjoy it, your son gets it. He came into Eretz Yisrael, you also get a portion. This one is a tough one. This is a riddle, Rabbi Yisai. How do you get both? Leaving Eretz Yisrael, coming into Eretz Yisrael, if you left Mitzrayim and you came into Eretz Yisrael, you get two chalakim. The question is, how is it possible? Anybody who left Mitzrayim died l'chayra in the midbar. How is it possible they get two chalakim? Now, if you weren't 20 years old, you don't get a chalik either. If you're Kalev and Yeshua and Yeshua and Kalev, we're not talking about them. I'm asking a question. What these psukim, we're not talking about Kalev. So how is it possible? No, what's the answer? So how did they get a portion when they came into Israel? The dead. We're not talking about dead people. Oh, the last year people didn't die. Yeah, there was 500 people. Okay, those people. That's a good answer. So one answer could be that a person was 20 years old when he left Mitzrayim, so he gets a portion. He died. His son was 20 years old, so his son gets a portion. But his son also gets his father's portion. He gets two portions. But there's a more gishmak answer, I think. I like this one better. The Rishbam brings both of them, so am I, but I like it. He says that what if a guy was 60 years old when he left Mitzrayim? He was 60 years old. Those who died in the midbar were only between 20 and 60. So he's already 60 when he left Mitzrayim. He gets a portion because he's above 20. He didn't die in the midbar because he was already 60. But now when he goes into Eretz Yisrael, he's 100 years old. Big deal. 100 years old. He gets two portions coming into Eretz Yisrael. Yivaldik. Miraglim. Who got the portion of the Miraglim? Yeshua beKalev notlu chelkam. This is Shaila if they divided 50-50, or maybe Yeshua got more than Kalev, maybe Kalev got one portion. Okay. Famous Chavetz Chaim says, how were the Miraglim nichshal? The Miraglim saw all the makas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, saw makas b'chayris. They didn't think to themselves for a second that maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a way to beat the big giants in Eretz Yisrael. They saw everything. They saw the Nisim Gluyim. They saw HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he says that's what Kol was saying. That don't think to yourself that you're nothing, that we don't have enough zchusim. He says that's a big problem that people have. People say, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I don't have enough zchusim to beat them. Not that they didn't think. Of course HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do it. We're not worthy. So we're not worthy is a terrible thing that causes a lot of issues with people. Yush. We are worthy. Don't say you're not worthy. You learn Torah every day. You do the daf. You're worthy. You're worthy. Zog the Gemara. So the Miraglim, because they did a terrible thing, they lost their portion in Eretz Yisrael, and it was given away. It was given away to Yeshua and Kalev. So we once learned the Gemara, I forgot where it is exactly, but there's a Gemara that says that the tzaddikim get the Rishaim's Gan Eden, and the Rishaim get the tzaddikim's Gehenim. And the Maharsha over there explains that it also applies to, let's say, if somebody makes, a guy's trying to learn Torah, let's say he's sitting down in his medrash, and a guy comes and he starts singing next to him. He makes it harder for him. Or a guy's in shul trying to daven, trying to concentrate, and he's schmoozing away. Blah, 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 blah. It happens. Sometimes you hear people, it's crazy. You hear people from 7 rows back. You want to talk, okay, I'm not judging you, but why are you disturbing other people? What happened to me? This? Forget about bin al makom. What about bin al chavera? You're disturbing other people. The mamish loud, laughing out loud. He says, and if you daven with all the distractions, then you get that guy's Gan Eden. That's what he says. So sometimes you can be Yerush other people's Gan Eden. Zog the Gemara, misleading the complainers. Oh, so I have to say this, especially if you're new to the shir. There's a guy that wanted to become a Buddhist. So he goes out to India to become a Buddhist. He shows up there, he had to travel by foot. And I mentioned this, my son, my Bchar, just went to Peru. He went on this whole, to work on himself, on his midas, and one of the things, he went with another friend there, a frum guy. They went there, and for 10 days, they had to give in their phone, and they couldn't speak a word. There's a whole set of mamish helped them, breathing, and a whole zach. He comes to the Buddhist, and they say, listen, you want to be a Buddhist, it's not a Buddha, it's not a problem, but there's a rule. You can't say one word the entire year. But at the end of the year, we let you say 2 words. 2 words, zeo. Okay? A year goes by, and they bring him into the room, they say, okay, now you can say 2 words. He says, mattress hard. He says, okay, we can fix that. We'll get you a nice soft mattress. Another year goes by, the guy doesn't say 1 word. At the end of the year, they bring him into the office. No, 2 words. Food cold. No, okay, we'll warm it up. 3rd year goes by, 2 words. He says, I leave. So the guy says, finally, all you do since you come, you complain. And that's right over here, the misleading. I'll tell you another one. This is better. But it's not a joke. This is emes. A Russian comes to America. They ask him, "No, how was it in Russia?" He says, can't complain. He says, well, what about the food over there? He says, can't complain. What about Parnassa? I heard they're communists. Parnassa. He says, can't complain. What about the house you lived in? Can't complain. So why did you move to America? Because I could complain. Misleading him. Vadas Korach Loyer Rabbi Ashi's in the house, I think. Is that mine?
Yes.
Oh, it's rocket alert. That's why. Rosh Hanikra. You want me to put over here? All right. Zok the Gemara. The Misleinanim, those who complained, Va'adas Korach, the Gemara is going to explain, these are the 250 people from Korach, not the ones that made it into the ground, but the ones that were burnt, the Misleinanim. They didn't have a chelik. So if they didn't have a chelik at all, what happened to their portion they were supposed to get? So everybody got like another, square tile in their house, or whatever. Everybody got one little piece, another 2 inches. Habanim, Nodlu B'schus, Avim, the children of these Misleinanim, since their fathers didn't have anything, so they got because of their grandfathers, because of their mother's father. You could inherit the mother if she didn't have, right? We learned if a mother doesn't have brothers. Let's see if we have a little chart over here. I don't remember if we had that. Oh, I should have shown. This is new for today. Just I don't know what's going on here. It's flying. Okay. I'm saying whoever's doing that, it could throw that in. Okay. How long are we already?
35.
No, that's it, Bemet? The actual shir, what about with the singing?
45.
Oh. L'chaim. One more niggin, I'm saying shmak niggin.
47.
One quick one. So what? 10 seconds. Rabbi Isai, Mendy wants to leave quickly, so I say we sing one more niggin. L'chvoid Mendy. Yokim lovanu, esukas Dovid anoy boleh. Horachamonu yokim lovanu. Quicker. Oh, Yorachamonu yokim lovanu, esukas Dovid anoy boleh. Horachamonu yokim lovanu, esukas Dovid. My mashma, the Heilish Mois Madis Avoisa. So going back to the Psukim. Who told you that the one on the right, Matis Avoisam, the father's Yerusha, means those who came out of Mitzrayim. Maybe it's talking about that we have to divide it equally, 12 Shvatim. Why would I say such a thing? It says the Gemara, so I thought it's very important to see the psukim before. Beautiful psukim, we're all very familiar. But if you see the context, then you'll have what's going on here. The psukim before are the 4 lashonos of Gula. That Akash Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, and then it says all the way at the end, we give you an inheritance. So what does that mean? When did this happen? Now that we know that it's about Akash Baruch Hu telling Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm going to save Klal Yisrael from Mitzrayim, so we know that Klal Yisrael is still Mitzrayim. And that's why it means Matois Avoisa means those who were in Mitzrayim. The Chsiv Nesati Yisrael Lochem Merosh Ani Hashem Yerushi Lochem Avoisechem Uliyotzim Mitzrayim Kalmar Lohu. He's talking to the Yotzim Mitzrayim. Just a few more lines. Simon, there's a few questions here that Rav Papa asks Abaya. I think 4 questions. The Rav Slavcha Yosef Ichpal Menashe Yichashiv. Omalei Rav Papa Abaya. Bishleim Lamand Omalei Yotzim Mitzrayim Nischal Koretz. It makes sense if the ones who left Mitzrayim get a Yerusha, Hainu Dechsiv, L'Rav Tar Ben Nachlasoi, V'Lemat Tamit Nachlasoi. Think about it. Why does the Torah have to say that if you're many, you get a lot of portions, and if you're few, you get few portions? Of course, if there's 10 people, they get 10 portions. One person gets 1 portion. What does it mean a lot? Many get a lot, and a few get a few. We already said that everybody's going to get a Nachla. Well, if we say that it goes based on how you left Mitzrayim, so if you're a single person and you have 25 kids today, so you're going to get L'Rav Tarbe Nachlasa, you're going to get a lot, even though you were few when you left Mitzrayim. And if it's the reverse, you were many, you were a giant mishpacha, but Nebach, they all passed away in the Midbar, then it's L'Mat Tamit Nachlasa, today you're few. So since you were few today, even though you were many before, so it makes a lot of sense, because this goes well if you say that it goes based on leaving Mitzrayim. But if you say that it goes based on coming to Yisrael, of course, of course, if you have many, you get it. So the Rashbam says maybe it's so kasha. The Gemara says kasha. Kasha means it's not the biggest kasha. Rashbam goes through them. Maybe you could say that's exactly what we said before. That let's say you came out and the 2 brothers had 11 children together. So it goes back to the original guys leaving Eretz Mitzrayim, and you divide it 5.5, 5.5. He says that's not a good pshat. Rabbi Sai, have a good yontif, a good moed. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Rabbi Sai, we're going to bench. Don't forget to bench. Rabbi Schoenberg is our Kohen Chacham, and he's going to bench for us, Bezer Hashem.